What is up? What's good? I haven't been posting videos for a while because normally I post videos whenever I feel just really almost like a message that I want to share. Recently, I haven't really been wanting to share anything. I've just been more so consuming a bunch of information, and I want to consistently make videos. I want to stay on top of always posting videos. So I don't know, part of me is like, I'm just going to think about something to talk about and talk about it. That's a dangerous game. It's a very dangerous game. Because then I'm just not even really thinking about what I'm talking about. Besides that, I'm going to make a video today about, see, this is where I'm just like pulling something out of my arse to be like, oh, I don't have anything in mind. Again, I've just kind of been more so taking in information and figuring out what to do with that. It's been a lot of heavy information. I guess what I could say to it is that, in this day and age, truth is quite difficult to discern because a lot of truths have like two lies in them and how they're given to us, and we are given only a certain amount of information. Definitely we are seeing a lot more truth and a lot more things come to light, but I think in the midst of it too, it's easy to get lost in the sauce of it all. Like, for example, I was watching, it was Venom the other day with my boyfriend, and it was a part, I think it was the first Venom, where he had like, the main character had just lost his job, and then he is like listening to an audiobook of Eckhart Tolle. And I always really liked Eckhart Tolle. Kind of, I would say, back in like 2018 maybe, so like 2019. So what's that, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? I was like really into his stuff, like The Power of Now, A New Earth, all that. And then seeing him in Venom, I know Marvel is associated with, how do I want to put this? Corrupt people. Let's just put it frankly, Illuminati. That's the easiest way to put it, but I just call them more so like the shadow, the people who are like puppeteering in the background, trying to do things in the dark and not letting people know what's up. I call them the shadow, because it's hard, you can't just call it the Illuminati, but you can, but you can't. Anyways, Marvel's part of the shadow Illuminati. And so when they had Eckhart Tolle, I was like, that's so weird. I thought Eckhart Tolle was really spiritual. And so after the movie ended, we're just kind of like chilling. I'm like going on my phone and I'm like, Eckhart Tolle Illuminati, like looking stuff up. Because I'm like, why is he in a Marvel movie? And then I saw that there's pictures of Eckhart Tolle with Oprah. Who, if you don't know anything about Oprah, she is literally a pedophile. Don't know if that word is gonna get me flagged, but she is. She had her all-girls school or whatever that came out that there was like corruption going on there. Look into that. She's friends with Henry Weinstein. Look into that. Really close with Bill Cosby. Look into that. There's a video of her saying that, like, whenever you touch a young kid, that they like feel pleasure and that they can't help it. And I'm like, why are you talking about that? And two, anytime anyone or anything is really pushed in the media, it's a red flag. And Oprah was like so pushed in the media back then. Besides that, as a trail off thought, Oprah is corrupt with these corrupt people. So seeing Eckhart Tolle and her being so close, and then seeing her promoting his book, I'm like, that's interesting. And then there's like photos of Eckhart Tolle with Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, a lot of people think he's super spiritual, but if you look into Jim Carrey, he's a Saturn worshiper, same thing, Illuminati. Like, he's that controlled opposition where he's that two lies within a truth. So if you're looking for someone to be like, telling you the truth, you might look at Jim Carrey and be like, oh, look at it, he's telling us all the things. He's telling you certain things. He's telling you one truth and two lies. So seeing Eckhart Tolle with him, I was like, that's interesting. They just have a close relationship. And then he's with Gwyneth Paltrow, same thing. She's Illuminati. So I was just like, oh, I was duped. And it's hard because what his books, at least The Power of Now, talks about is just the power of being present, fully present in the moment, which is, to a certain extent, I still think good to be present fully and to be, fully like consciously aware. But that's where I'm like, where's the evil in it? Like, maybe because they're like, don't focus on your past, don't focus on your future, there's only the eternal now. Just like, is that a truth or is that a lie? So it just gets me in my head where I'm like, I was duped. Like, what else am I duped on? What else am I currently believing now that is a lie? And so just kind of reevaluating. That's where discernment is so key. Like, and discernment is just so tricky because you have to cleanse and purify your thoughts and emotions so that they aren't something that has been like manipulated or messed with. But yeah, just going through that and trying to realize, like, what is my truth? How does that play out in my life? And if I was deceived in the past by this thing, like, what does that mean? Just a tricky time we're in. Tricky. The people in positions of authority definitely want to keep people in the dark because it's easier to take advantage of someone when they don't know that they're being taken advantage of. I also do think, to a certain extent, like, people have to agree to certain things, and maybe one way they can do it is through like manipulating people, but that's tricky for me because I don't think that that's agreeing. I think that that's manipulation at the end of the day, which maybe to a certain degree or extent is agreeing when you're manipulated, but not really, Like grooming, people who groom, you don't blame the victim, you blame the person who was grooming them and knew better. The younger person who was groomed, like, they were manipulated. I mean, at the end of the day, they might have agreed to certain things on a certain level, but it's like, I don't think they were really agreeing. I think they were manipulated into it. So it's like, how is that free will if it's manipulation, if it's omission? It's not really free will. That's where they kind of do have to tell you what they're doing. Whatever, besides that, we're getting off on a tangent. Just the people in authority, they know what they're doing. I think they understand the laws of the the universe that we live in, and they use that to their advantage. And I think they keep the rest of us in the dark about how the laws of the universe really work. And that's why so many people are just kind of meandering around, believing false ideologies, when in reality, the truth is different. Just discerning what that truth is, I do think people have to come together and talk and be open-minded and allow people to a certain extent believe other things and be willing to have their own beliefs challenged and be okay to be like, oh, I was wrong about that. Like, if I sat here and I was like, oh no, Eckhart Tolle, like, he's fine. Like, what he was teaching, that's not bad, that's not wrong, which I agree to a certain extent. I'm like, I don't fully see where it's bad or wrong, but I'm open to seeing where it's bad and wrong. And because I've been given contradictory proof of who I thought he was versus other things that make me think he might be otherwise, I'm not going to hold on and be like, no, what I thought before is true. It has to be true. It's like, no, I can admit I was wrong. It's how we grow, it's how we move on. It's through admitting that we're wrong. I think so many people don't want to admit that they're wrong. So many people don't want to give up their truths, their foundation that they've built their perception on, because when you don't have that foundation, it can be shaky, it can be confusing, and it is intimidating to a certain extent. Like me right now, it's like, what other truths am I believing that I think are so true but could be a lie, and I could be just like playing into a game or their hands or that deception. It's hard to admit that you could be duped, and a lot of people just don't want to do that, but it's so necessary. It's so necessary. Admit where you're wrong, admit where you've been duped, and move on. Work together to find truth. I don't want to get up and get this picture, but it's like if you were to look at a cylinder, so I can do it right here, like this. If you look at it from this way, it looks like a rectangle. If you're looking at it straight on, that looks like a rectangle. But then when you turn it this way, it looks like a circle. Okay, so rectangle, circle. And then when you get a 360 view, you can see, oh, it's a cylinder. It's all of those. That's what we need to do. Some people are seeing this truth. Some people are seeing this truth. And we need to come together so we can see this truth. That comes through unifying and, being like, oh, maybe what I thought isn't true. Maybe what you think isn't true. Maybe what I think is true. Maybe what you think is true. Be willing to not hold on to your beliefs so strictly that you deny truth. Like I see it a lot with people who are religious. They are very protective over their perspective of their religion, and they are like, you have to believe exactly what I believe because this is the foundation I've built my life on, and I think it's true. And I've even done that within not even being like religious per se, but just being spiritual, I guess, looking into religion. It's all the same, but I've been like, oh, my perspective, my ideologies are the most right because that's how I'm living my life by, and everybody needs to think the exact same way. People need to get on my level. That's how everyone else feels about their beliefs and their truth. They just think they're so right. It's like me looking back now, There have been a lot of things I was wrong about. And imagine me just wanting everyone to be just like me. Like, we would be wrong about things. It's good to have people that have contradictory opinions and beliefs because they help see different truths that I can't see, and vice versa. So, like, allow people to have their own truth, have their own beliefs, and you can have your own beliefs, and it doesn't have to be, everyone has to think the same way as you. And if you're religious, it doesn't mean that your one perspective is the only truth. It's the only thing. Admit that, you could not be seeing the full truth. Admit that you could be wrong. That's part of it. But people don't want to. They want to be like, oh no, I know, I'm right, I'm doing it all correct. Because if we're not that, what does that mean then? I could be doing stuff wrong. You're allowed to do things wrong. It's about when you do, see the truth, let what's wrong go. And don't feel guilty for doing what was wrong if you thought that that's what was right. Just move on once you see the new truth. Don't hold on so tight and be like, but that means this is that. Okay, no. Another big thing for me was with Hollywood, Hollyweird. A lot of celebrities, newsflash, a lot of the women celebrities, they're men. They're literally men who have undergone surgeries and have wigs and makeup and all this stuff. And I remember first seeing it and I was like, what? I thought that was a girly pop this whole time. What do you mean? I was duped. Crazy. And it's hard to wrap your mind around the truth of, like, why would Hollywood, Hollyweird be portraying men as women? I'll give you a prime example. Look up the guy from Boy Meets World next to Chanel West Coast. I don't know what his name in Boy Meets World is. I want to say Nimbus. I didn't watch that show, so I don't know. But that little kid, look up Boy Meets World versus Chanel West Coast. Prime example, okay? That's what they do. They portray, like, I literally thought Chanel West Coast was a girl this whole time. Nope. That's a man. It's a man with cosmetic surgery. It's hard to wrap your mind around that, and it's actually, that's like one example. So many in Hollywood, so many celebrities are transformers. You're like, why would they do that? Because they corrupt what's sacred. They want to corrupt your mind, because your mind is so powerful. It's so powerful. It's key to your perception, which is your reality, which is your awareness, your consciousness. If they can hijack that, if they can manipulate that, oof. And that's just one example. And that's something you have to come to terms with, is that you're being lied to, you're being manipulated, and it's okay that you were. It's totally okay. Just now that you know, accept it, move on, do different. Like, that's the age we're in, baby. The age is seeing the truth. So don't hold on to the lies, don't hold on to the deception. Don't feel guilt or shame for being duped. It's okay. Just let it be like, maybe I am being duped about other things too. That isn't to say, murder's wrong, obviously. Do unto others what you wish done unto yourself. That's a golden rule for me. That will never change. I will always do unto others what I wish done unto myself. If they are, human being or whatever. Still don't know all that stuff either. But even still, on a soul level, do unto others as you wish onto yourself. Show love, be respectful. Like, End of the day. Now, do I always live up to it? No, I'm not perfect, but I try to, I want to, and I keep working towards that. That's all that really matters. So, like, those things, your core, I can't say your core truths can stay foundational, but the things that are rooted in, like, well-being for all, advancement for all, just like logically and emotionally, foundationally, it all makes sense. It all just makes sense. Those things you don't really have to question. It's the things that where you're like, oh, I could see it a different way. Be okay to questioning those things. Be okay to that. And two, even if someone does do things differently, allow them to. That's their free will, that's their choice. Your job is not here to force anyone into accepting your perspective. No, your job is to be your perspective fully. And if it is truthful, if it contains truth, solid foundation, it will grow, it will stay sturdy. If it's not, it will shake and it will crumble. And, you know, do with that what you wish. But yeah, that's just what I've been going through recently. I don't think there's too much more I want to say on that, other than I hope this is motivational, I hope this is inspiring, I hope this is awakening, or awakening's a bad word, enlightening. Oh my gosh, my cat just scared me. He popped out of the woodwork just out of the corner in the dark. Oh, that scared me. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Bye all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever it is. I hope it is amazing and exactly what you want it to be. Okay. Bye. Or should I show you my kitty? No, it's okay. Alright, bye.